عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. حلقتنا اليوم مع الخبيرة مريان مدرسة فرق، وطلبت منها اني وهي راح تتقاعد قريبا، عندها 25 سنة خبرة في هذا المجال. فعندنا كم أسئلة اللي أنا طلبت من المشاهدين إن يطلبونها، فراح أسألها وإن شاء الله تستفيدون وإحنا نستفيد. Okay, now I'm gonna say hi, welcome to our channel.
Hello.
And thank you for being so much a great help for Fari. And
it's a joy.
Yeah, she just improved a lot since last year.
She sure has.
I'm really happy. So I'm gonna start with the questions first that I have, and then all the audiences, they ask some questions.
Okay. I wanted to be a elementary educator for, first, second, third grade, and I worked full-time in a school, a residential school for boys with special needs. And it was there that I found I had a gift. I had a student there that was just enunciating like this.
Mm-hmm.
And he was frustrated and upset, so I taught him to say, I want. So he would say, and then he'd say what he want. So I didn't have any training, but I just knew that it was a natural thing for me, and I really enjoyed it. And I know that they needed it more than the typical kids.
Yeah.
Right. And I loved it. I loved doing it.
So you have the passion for it.
I have a passion.
Yeah. Okay. How many years did you teach in this field?
21 years. This is my last year.
Aww.
Sorry to say. And I'm glad to see that Fari has come quite a way in the 2 years that I've had her. To take people for who they are. Anyone, not just a special needs person. I'm talking about someone that's from a different culture, someone who's a different color. Be patient with an adult who might be a little different than you. It makes you accept everyone when you can accept someone with a special physical need or emotional need or a mental need.
Yeah, so be kind.
Be kind.
Simply.
Love.
Yeah.
Typical developing children, they develop on their own. Mm-hmm. They just go, they listen to what their mothers say and their fathers say, and they watch their brothers and sisters play.
Imitate.
And they imitate, and it's easy for them. Mm-hmm. It comes naturally. And the earlier you can have your child exposed to support in a classroom, especially with teachers who know how to teach, you're opening those doors for them and supporting them as they learn to imitate.
Mm-hmm.
So the earlier, the better. Even if they're 6 months old, they may need it.
That's great. Yes, yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
I think we have to get inside.
I think we have to get inside.
So we are inside because of the whole storm.
Well, actually, there's a couple things now that I think about it. Always talk for them so that if they want milk or a crayon, you can say, oh, you want the green crayon, or oh, you're thirsty, you want some milk. Also, a little bit of sign language can help. Not that the child's going to use sign language for the rest of their lives, but it's a bridge. It's what we call a bridge to communication. So you could teach the child to say more, or help, want, play. Simple words, not a lot. You don't have to do a whole sentence, because in the beginning you just want to teach 1 or 2 words to request or ask for something specific. And I do think that the biggest part of that is speaking for your child when they want something, so that they can learn that, oh, this is what we use language for.
Okay. So we use mostly verbs, if we can say, and just one word at a time.
Yeah, in the beginning, verbs, because that's how they're going to request things. They're going to say juice, doll, color. So in the beginning, that's what you do. And then you build onto that. After maybe they say those words or sign those words, then you could add want color, want milk, want juice. And then the next thing would be, I want color, I want juice, so you build onto it. You start small and let them watch you model and so that they can imitate the language.
Another
I would say that there are more autistic boys than there are autistic girls in my work experience, and generally that seems to be what it is. My personal observation on that is that boys tend to be more mathematical, more concrete, more streamlined with their thinking, where girls are so much more emotional. They express themselves a lot and we're more volatile, and the autism spectrum seems to be more like a boy thing than a girl thing. And also you want to look at the family, and if the father, the father might say, I've always been socially shy to a big degree. Or maybe he's an accountant or an engineer, a job where things don't change that very much, Sometimes it comes from the father, and it's another man thing.
Yeah.
And I really have only had a few girls in my 21 years. No. It's more like through the whole spectrum of autism, girls or boys, and girls and boys can have any degree of that spectrum.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's
that
possible.
Make sense?
Yeah. It depends on the growth of the brain and the nerves. Yeah.
To be like a detective. So you have to watch the child play and see what is the most important things for that particular child. Everybody likes something different. And work with that. Fari really liked to play with the people, our little plastic people. And we had beds and couches and this and that. And we built on that, putting them to bed. And then she would go get a tissue and cover them up. So we would do night-night, So she may not repeat what we say, but she's understanding and building on understanding of what we say during that play scenario. She loves to color. So we did a lot with crayons, and then we introduced a color palette that we could say, oh, you want the red crayon? Here's the red crayon. Here you go. And actually now I could ask her, what color do you want? I have the crayons in front of her, and I'll say, what color do you want? And she'll point to the color and then choose what color she wants. So you've got to build on what is most inspiring to the child. Some kids like cars, or they like to dance. Or move, or play ball, so they're the things you should gravitate to and start your learning through those things.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Most preschool classrooms for children with special needs will have a small trampoline, and that's a really wonderful thing to have at home. Some of them are expensive. Some of them are cheaper, so you have to look around. Some of this equipment for special needs children is very expensive, unfortunately, even for us teachers. So we do a lot of our shopping at secondhand stores.
Yeah.
But the jumping helps to relieve some of that tension in their body. We do like rubbing on their limbs, on their torso, on their legs, just to put some input in there to help them calm down. Pressure, they make pressure vests. They're like a like scuba diving vests or clothes that it kind of hugs them.
It hugs them, yeah.
And it really does pull them down so they're not so high or moving too much. What else do we do? Sometimes songs, and sometimes just dancing can be a release. But some of those extra sensory things are the things that you need to look into to see what they need. Do they need to be calmed down, or do they need to be hyped up? Some children are very low tone and quiet, and they need to be up. But those same things, like the dancing and that kind of thing, can pull them up.
Yeah,
too.
That's nice.
So you just have to see what works for each individual child. Not everything works for the child, different children the same.
Okay.
So it's like a tricky, it's a very tricky navigation in the world of autism when you're working with your child. You have to see what works for them the best.
Yeah, because it's individual. Like
it is very individual. I mean, there are some global things that are the same, but it is very individual.
Yeah, that's why they have to design a special curriculum for each one of them, so they can get the benefit out of it. Okay, this is our first episode. Thank you for being with us. And then we're gonna go and record another one with the people's question. The audience.
Great.
So أعتقد أن حلقتنا اليوم خلصت، والحمد لله على النعم التي لا تعد ولا تحصى، وعلى النعم التي لم ندركها بعد. مع السلامة وإلى اللقاء.